Production. Y'all think y'all slick, huh? To Recency Bias Radio, your number one source for everything rants, considering sports and television in the YouTube lexicon. I am your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game, Ultra, Smith Dog Trill, Red Pill, Rant God, Hotep Thanos, all of the above on that ISET test and that ACT. You know what it is. Please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And I got a conspiracy theory for y'all. See, production, y'all should have played it safe tonight. Y'all knew the RBR investigation crew. Y'all knew we was going to put out our best foot forward to try to sniff out the bull crap. Okay, I'm watching the episode tonight. I'm thinking, how are they going to rig this final? Okay, that's the first thing I'm going into the episode tonight thinking. And y'all made this too easy for me. Y'all really made this too easy for me. I got people trying to debate me. Oh, it's not that much of a handicap, bro. But I agree, it isn't fair to an extent. No. We gonna really get down to the brass tacks, because coming after 1 week, after allowing Jordan to identify as a woman to swim against women, for y'all to all of a sudden act like, because Team US has 2 more women than Team UK. Let's really break this down, ladies and gentlemen. Team US have 7 people in this final. Team UK have 5. The only difference is 2 women. They have 3 men on both sides, and one side has 4 women versus the other side on Team UK that only has 2. So you mean to tell me somebody in production thought it was wise to make each sandbag on these Gurneys worth 20 pounds each to be a negative handicap for Team US, which then does what? That incentivizes future players of your game to ruin the integrity of the game by losing on purpose just to have less numbers heading into a final, because y'all will reward them for mediocrity. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I witnessed tonight. Who creates a twist to give the people who have choked the whole season away more chances when they wouldn't even have the numbers they have if they didn't have a rigged turncoat just to have a proposal come out of it? We got 2 turncoats to set up a proposal. Now you mean to tell me I'm supposed to believe that this isn't rigged? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know me. I'm going to break this down with facts. I'm going to break this down with evidence. I have done math about this because, see, what they would like you to believe is it's only 20 pounds extra per person. In theory, that's only 40 extra pounds Team USA had to carry. But do the math on that. If it's 7 players, 20 pounds per player, then that should be nowhere near what Paulie called it. Understand, Paulie said what they were carrying was twice his body weight. Paulie weighs 150. Do the math. 7 times 20 is 140. Now, granted, the Gurney probably weighs a certain amount. I'm not discounting that. Even the Relic, Turbo's Relic, probably weighs a certain amount. I'm not discounting that either. But ask yourself this question before I get into these notes. How did Team UK, not only with less bodies, meaning they have to carry it the whole time, meaning they should have had shoulders that were sore a little bit quicker than other team because they didn't get to take rests, right? But think about this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. How did they have enough built-in strength when they were behind to bum rush Team US, to push them out the way, which was against the rules, by the way? How did they have enough energy to do that if they didn't have more than just 40 pounds of an advantage? See, I'm going to break this down, ladies and gentlemen. The sandbags, because we have no way of knowing for sure how much weight was in said sandbag. We don't know for sure if each sandbag on Team USA's Gurney was only 20 pounds. And I'm going to break this down with complete evidence to back up my claim, because I actually did a few snapshots of Team USA's Gurney when they dropped it. They had somewhere near 13 to 14 sandbags, ladies and gentlemen. Do the math on that. That's from 260 pounds to 280 without adding the Gurney or the Relic's weight yet. Paulie said it was at least twice his weight. That adds up. Now ask yourself, do you really think they gave Team UK anywhere near 40 pounds less than 280? Anywhere near 40 pounds less than 260? And then when you include the Relic and the Gurney, do you think they gave them 40 pounds less than 340, 360? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. They gave Team UK close to 100 pounds of an advantage for a 16-mile race. Think about that. Then the puzzles, they made them individual. So in theory, the team with the lesser amount of numbers, they have the advantage in that stage too, because all they got to do is know some math, and they had even more of an advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. The only time Team UK was losing this competition really was when it got to math, when it got to that puzzle. Outside of that, they were bum rushing, destroying Team USA the whole time. Team USA burnt out. Why did they burn out? Because they added so much weight to their Gurney. But the people who added all that weight, they didn't incorporate sex into the weight. See, if Team US had 2 more men than Team UK, then adding the 20 pounds makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. That makes sense. I've actually seen that done in finals before, where like the man has to put on a backpack that's like 50 pounds, and the girl, she might have to put on a backpack that's like 20, or it could be smaller than that. But you get what I'm saying. There's always a difference. So for them to automatically make it a multiplier of 20, ask yourself, if Team USA would have kept Josh, what would a multiplier have been if they would have had an extra guy? They would have made it 50, 40. See, no matter how you stretch this out, ladies and gentlemen, that rigged the comp from the start. So let's not spin this entire rant blaming Paulie, blaming Cara, even though I'm going to hold them accountable. Make no mistake about it, because they talked a big game and then they pretty much flopped in the most closing of moments. But understand, it didn't matter what they did, because no matter what, this competition was rigged. You got CT out here being penalized 10 minutes for running into them. But here's my thing, TJ. Him running into them probably is what expedited the process of the bamboo of their Gurney deteriorating. So even though you're charging them 10 minutes, that slowed the other team down, which means the 10 minutes they lost wasn't even equivalent to what they cost the other team. And here's the thing. Do they even run into their Gurney if they don't have considerably less weight that they're carrying? See, by y'all rigging this comp, it's almost as if you incentivize that team to break the rules, because they knew no matter what penalty you gave them, it would never make up for the fact that they could be faster. See, I'm really breaking this down, coach. I'm really breaking this down. And see, what makes this even worse is D ran into Ninja the same way CT did, but they didn't get penalized another 10 minutes. They only got penalized once. Y'all notice that? Think about that. If they would have got penalized 20 instead of 10, maybe Team USA catches up and wins stage 1. We can't give them that. Instead, we're only going to charge on one person. Let's make it seem like this isn't rigged for our pets. So let's blame only CT. Let's not point out D doing it. See, all of that was a misdirect. See, recency bias radio don't fall for these editing tricks, coach. We don't. We don't. Maybe it's the type of lenses I got, coach. They call Gothams. I feel like I'm Batman tonight. You feel it, dig me? Like they think they slick. The episode starts off tonight, and you got Tori out here talking about how, Paulie and Cara have been playing a scared game this whole time. And see, when you finish the episode, if you rewatch the beginning of it, production was going out of their way to clown the players that would end up looking bad during the stage 1. But they only looked as bad as they did because of the excess weight you gave them to make them look bad. This was a sabotage. 100%. 100%. There's no way around this. Okay? You tell people, you cannot purposely ruin your Gurney. You cannot purposely ruin someone else's Gurney. And you only give them 10 minutes when they did it twice? What kind of crap is that, TJ? Huh? You know, it's already worse enough that the men on Team UK individually were better built for this competition, because all of them, well, let's be real. Jordan's not the strongest guy in the world, right? But when you got CT and you got Rogan, right? So Jordan is probably the strongest challenger on their team, but he might be the weakest in terms of this comp, but he also has endurance, right? He's basically like Paulie. They're a wash. But ask yourself, how did Paulie gas out like that with a heat stroke, allegedly? How did he gas out like that compared to Jordan, who didn't gas out at all, if it was only a 40 pounds difference? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a rat in the ranks. See, y'all told on yourselves in this episode by specifically telling us it was only an extra 20 pounds by the extra player you have. You told us it was only 40 pounds extra on their Gurney. Paulie does not quit over 40 pounds, bro. 40 pounds don't make a dude like that quit. It's got to be in excess of 100. And this comes from a guy who did a lot of strength training. a lot of power lifting, okay? I know how those muscles work when you put them through high torque, high intensity for a long period of time. Paulie's body is built like a soccer player. This man is built to run kilometers in an hour, okay? Just walking with some heavy stuff on his shoulder ain't gonna do that to him unless y'all weighted this comp unfairly, dog. No, I'm not saying D destroyed Bamboo. I'm saying D is the one who ran into her friend Ninja and said, skip that. And she ran into him. She made it when they were coming down the little, the forest pathway or whatever, the trail. Remember, D had a confessional saying, you know what? I don't care if we're friends. This is for the money. D went out of her way to go boom. And you notice as soon as that happened, it went to commercial, right? Production wanted us to forget about that scene. What's the easiest way to make us forget about a scene? Either make it right before a commercial or right after a commercial, because you're less likely to be immersed in everything that's going on because you're coming off of or going into a commercial break. They either wanted to sit with you enough so you stay there and keep watching, or they want you to forget about it by giving you a bigger moment as soon as commercial ends. So understand, they use this as a trick to make us forget about what D did. And you can say CT, what he did, ruin their Bamboo, but the truth is we don't know for a fact if what CT did ruin their Bamboo. I'm just throwing it out there. It could have expedited the process of the Bamboo being ruined. But if all you have to do is show aggression towards the other team's Gurney to get docked 10 minutes, D should have got docked again too. That's my point. It's about intent. It's not necessarily about the result of what happens afterward. And this further brings up my point as to why this was a complete misdirect. Production tried to get us to believe Team UK won this fair and square. Bro, they did not win this comp fair and square. No, sir. No. I mean, the way that they got to the numbers that they got for this comp was not fair. So, of course, they're going to keep going down that spiral. It only makes sense. This is the most continuity production has shown all season by cheating all of these episodes in a row. Let's really break it down, you know? But yeah, so you got Tori out here talking about Paulie and Cara played a scared game. But if you remember earlier in the season, Cara actually challenged her to a proving ground comp, and Tori was the one who turned it down. So I don't think they played a scared game. I think they just played the same way Tori and Jordan wanted to play on Team USA. But when they got the numbers, they chose to flip. And they chose to play a scared game by not staying on Team US. That's just what it is. But of course, the spoils go to the victor. The winner gets to tell the story of the war, right? And because Jordan and Tori clearly are being propped up as the ones who will win this final, they're giving them the majority of the confessionals. Okay? The majority of the confessionals you get from Team USA right now is almost self-reflective, right? They're either down on their odds or they're speaking on why they deserve to win. But if you look at Jordan and Tori, they get confessionals criticizing Team US. They get confessionals talking about the house they want to buy. Come on, did y'all see that tonight? Haven't I in the past few rants gone out of my way to say this is basically just a big coronation for their engagement this entire season from this point further after the engagement happened? Didn't I tell y'all this was just a giant coronation ceremony? They're telling us in the edit now. Oh, Jordan's like, me and Tori got to win this because we need to start our new life together on a great foot and we need a new house. Jordan acting like he hasn't told us earlier in the season he's got his own clothing company. He's acting like he hasn't won several seasons of the challenge up to this point. Like, Jordan, you got bread. But for the edit's sake, they have to make him look like the good guy, the protagonist. So they're trying to even make it seem like Jordan is broke all of a sudden. Oh, what will he do without this 200K? Well, now we know it's going to be 250 because they're going to be breaking the teams down next episode to 4v4. And see, this goes back to my initial problem with this stage one. Why did you have to make this stage one comp the way it was if you're just going to break them down to 4 anyway? See, one has to ask the question, does Paulie end up getting eliminated? Does he end up getting medevaced? Does this turn it into a 6 versus 5? And then do they decide to trim some of the fat off both teams all of a sudden? I mean, and it's common sense. We all know most likely D is going to be the one who's cut out of Team UK because everyone else has gotten way too much TV time. And the only TV time D has really got has been next to Rogan, whereas Rogan has gotten TV time next to everybody. So we know Rogan's not going nowhere. We know Tori and Jordan have Teflon from a production perspective. And we know CT, he's the turncoat who went back to his pregame alliance all along to ensure they could win this final. So at the end of the day, it's between Rogan and D who goes home on Team UK. And do you really believe production wants to make Team UK a little bit weaker by making sure Rogan goes over D? Of course not. So I expect D to go next week, right? And usually I don't even get into next week's episode, but I'm saying this for a purpose, ladies and gentlemen. So you got that. Now you ask yourself, if Paulie's gone and they got to lose 2 other people, that means Team US even weaker than they were. And also ask yourself this. Why didn't they just drop it 4v4 before stage 1? I'll tell you why. Because then they couldn't put the handicap on Team US. That would have made the competition a little bit more fair. They couldn't have that. They wanted this to be a blowout victory. That way, if they did have to trim some numbers, they would be off to such a good head start. It wouldn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm talking that real stuff tonight. Like I ain't really got time for the emotions. I'm just telling y'all what it is. It's up to you to see it for what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Cara, she goes into this competition. She just wants to win because she wants to win a final with Paulie, of course. And Jordan, this is what I got into a little bit. This is what I alluded to a little bit earlier. He basically says he wanted him and Tori to have a life that they can start and a house that they wanted to buy. You even heard Tori have a confession talking about she needs a new house. So they're in lockstep on their confessional work. Almost as if production's the one feeding them lines to keep continuity with each other. That way they can have this duo showmance type alliance win at the end, and they can both say, we wanted this from the start. Understand the con game. Please understand it. Now, at the end of the day, I predicted all this, but how fitting is it that Jordan, a multiple-time winner, is trying to make it seem like he doesn't have any money now? You know, the edit tries so hard to make Jordan and Tori likable, they aren't giving us the full picture on them anymore. You feel me? Now all of a sudden it's, Jordan and Tori, the good guys, they're broke, they're homeless. Jordan had a sex change, but he's straight again. Forgive him for that. Alphabet gang, don't go off on him. I wouldn't be shocked if the reunion was the honeymoon. I mean, the reunion might be the wedding. You know what? The Challenge 34 reunion might be the wedding. The way we going down this slippery slope, it might be the wedding. You feel it, dig me? What y'all gonna throw? A virtual bouquet? Download the MTV app to get the virtual bouquet. All of the Jordan and Tori fans, yes, catching a virtual bed of flowers in their hand, acting like this is something next level. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves right now. Y'all need y'all heads examined for rooting for this trash. You feel what I'm saying? You know, you got Zach out here. He didn't believe in his team to begin with. But understand this for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Zach, at the end of the day, Tori and Jordan flipped on you, B. You ain't even mad about that. They cost you $250,000 by flipping the way they did. And if they were so sure no one could beat them in the proving ground, why flip at all? Because they wanted the engagement scene. That's it. But at the end of the day, for Zach to act as if, I saw all this coming. Y'all a whole bunch of layups. This is why. Zach, at the end of the day, they created this comp to be a negative for a team with more women than men. That's just the truth behind it all. You know, it wasn't as if they said, all right, y'all can carry this, but at a certain point, like they didn't put enough stipulations behind it to balance out the reasonings for making it way more. Okay. All they said was, you can switch out more than the other team. Who really cares if the people we're switching out to are all women? So the people we switching out to are going to give it right back to us. That's like hot potato. I'm the only one with some gloves on. Y'all burning y'all hands. Y'all give it right back to me. Eventually my mitts going to burn too. Now we all can't hold on to this mug. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what they did, coach, And see, that's my problem. Any other season, well, not even any other season, any other show for the most part, if you had more numbers than the other team, what would they say, ladies and gentlemen? You know what I'm thinking. Okay, whoever your extra numbers are, they got to sit out. But see, since this is the final, they won't allow them to sit out, right? And I understand that to a degree. But if you're just going to shorten the numbers to 4 versus 4 the next episode anyway, why couldn't we just do that? Or here's an even better suggestion. Why did the super elimination only have 1 versus 1? If it was so super, why wasn't that a purge where 4 people go home? That way, we would at least be 4 versus 5 in this final, maybe even 4 versus 5 the other way. I don't know. But well, no, in theory, that's impossible. Well, in theory, it could be. Well, if they eliminated 5, it could be 5 versus 5. I mean, 4 versus 4. See, I'm doing quick math right now. I'm trying to figure out a way for them to have done this without rigging it to get the same result. At the end of the day, it's impossible. Team USA was so strong for so long, they almost want to penalize them for being a good team. And remember, TJ was the same guy who got mad at CT for throwing a comp doing rock, paper, scissors. I hope this works out for you. CT flips back, does the exact same move, but this time against the other side. All of a sudden, TJ ain't got no problem with it then. Then TJ comes up with a rule setup that essentially benefits CT for flipping. So I must ask this question. If CT would have never betrayed Tori the way he did, if Tori would have went down there and had to run, if all of these things happen, do we still get this 20-pound stuff? I don't know. And that's why I'm telling y'all, bruh. This was premeditated, 100%, man. Because if they had it in their minds that Jordan and Tori had to be on Team UK for that proposal to happen, if they had it in their minds that they needed them to turncoat in order to have the center stage in order to pull off the move itself, understand, from that point further, they have micromanaged everything, overanalyzed everything to not only make Paulie and Cara pay, because they view them as the villains of this story, even though they're truly the protagonists, but they also want Leroy to pay. Okay? They want everybody to pay. You feel me? Anybody who was part of that alliance must pay during the next episode and this one. Okay? Now, so I already explained this a bit, but TJ essentially explains the rules for this stage, and he calls it the toughest final ever. Each team has to carry a gurney full of sandbags and a turbo relic, but they add 20 pounds for each player on the team, which penalizes Team USA for being stronger throughout the season. Not only that, they are rewarding a team of losers and incentivizing future players on 2-team seasons going into the future to go into the final shorthanded on purpose. This isn't good for the integrity of the game, but as long as it benefits the production pets and their pregame alliance, no one complains. Team USA, of course, falls behind because their gurney is much heavier. But how is that even a balanced handicap if both teams have the same amount of men? Both teams have 3 men left, but USA has close to 40 pounds more to carry. And I've done the math, and I'm going to hit y'all with this hard crunching math in a second, but I must get through my notes to get to it so it makes sense. Now, so it's close to 40 pounds more to carry, around 16 miles. No matter how you look at it, stage 1 was rigged. Paulie is 150 pounds and admitted the gurney was twice his weight. Not only that was rigged, though, because even the puzzles had to be completed individually. So if Dee and Rogan would have just known some of their math, Team UK would have been off to an even bigger lead than they had in this competition. Such a big lead, even a 10-minute penalty didn't make a difference. Come on, y'all. Do y'all really think 40 pounds was the difference when 10 minutes didn't change anything? Think about it. No, that don't add up. That really don't. Even CT was right, like, damn, 10 minutes, that's a lot in the final. Yeah, it's a lot. If they pack them sandbags fairly, that's a lot. That's a lot of time. If they charge D the same way they charge CT, yeah, that's plenty of time. Okay? Now, how is Team USA's gurney so heavy if they only have 2 more people? Their gurney was heavier than just 40 pounds. Here's where the math comes into play, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to hit y'all with this hard crunching math, so follow me on this. If each sandbag is 20 times 7 is 140 pounds. The relic isn't 160 pounds by itself, meaning production most likely gave them extra weighted sandbags. My calculations tell me that the sandbags are the only independent variable in this competition because everything else is the same on both sides. We have no way of knowing all the sandbags were created equal. And the fact that Paulie had such a hard time with weight that should be no more than 40 pounds is a massive red flag to there being some foul play here. I even took a picture of their gurney after Team USA dropped it. They had 14 bags on that gurney, ladies and gentlemen. 14. There's only 7 on the team. So what should have been 140 plus the relic's weight plus the gurney's weight is somewhere around 280 plus the relic's weight plus the gurney's weight. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge difference. That's like lifting a toddler to an adult already. That's like That's like a sixth grader you picking up versus picking up a grown man that body builds. Like real talk. That's a huge difference. The math does check out, though, because Paulie said it was twice his weight. 280 pounds plus the relic plus the gurney is above twice his weight. But 140 pounds plus the relic plus the gurney isn't above twice his weight. So once again, that fully shows that they had more than the 7 that they made it seem like they had. They had more than that, ladies and gentlemen. That was a lie. Okay. And then if you pay attention to this episode and see, this rant is very important for y'all to go back and watch this episode closely. Because I paid attention to some things. I was hitting the rewind button and stuff. Pay attention to Team UK's bags, though. They never give us a clean shot of how many bags are on that gurney. In theory, it should only be 5 bags. And even if you did multiply their bags times 2, which it appears Team USA's bags were, they only have 10. That still is a difference of 80 pounds, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how you shake it, at the minimum, Team USA was behind 80 pounds. And you mean to tell me that is a good enough handicap to put just because they have 2 more women? 80 pounds makes up for having 2 more women. Remember, initially it was only supposed to be 40. See, I'm showing y'all how they're doubling it on us without us knowing. That's dirty, bruh. That's dirty. Do you really think Paulie, bro? Listen, I'm not going to rehash old takes. I'm just going to say at the end of the day, I got some riverside, some beachside property to sell you in Wyoming if you think that this was strictly a 40 pounds difference in this competition. I got some oceanside property to sell you. Because at the end of the day, anyone with a brain can look at this comment and go, no. How they bamboos breaking the way they breaking if it's only a 40 pounds difference? That don't even make sense. In theory, if it's only a 40 pounds difference and y'all going 16 miles with it, the bamboo should be breaking on both sides. For your bamboo to look so much worse, I'm talking they had the peg leg. They out there looking crazy, coach. You know what I'm saying? They had one leg limping, boy. They had a pimp named Slickback walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had a disabled gurney. That's why I'm calling this episode Gurney Gate. Because everything about this is a conspiracy, coach. Like, 100%. They had a disabled gurney with more weight on the central axis of it that they were carrying. They run into them twice, perpetuating and expediting the process of said gurney deteriorating quicker. But people want us to believe there's only a 40 pounds difference. Ladies and gentlemen, that's BS, yo. That's BS. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And the fact that they never gave us a clear shot of the amount of bags on Team UK is proof that they didn't want us to know the truth. Because if we know how many bags are on both, then we can calculate. And I will admit, it did look like Team UK had more bags than just 5, but they didn't have more bags than 10 either. Whereas if you look at Team USA's bags, they had at least above 12, at least. Okay. And that's with my high definition TV, coach. Now, so at the end of the day, I counted 7 or 8 bags at the most on Team UK. They should only be short 2 bags, though. So basically, UK carried a gurney 16 miles that was close to 100 pounds lighter. Woo! Boy, that math is crazy, bro. Now, Ninja even admitted the extra weight collapsed their gurney. How could their gurney collapse way before UK's if it's only 40 pounds? I call BS. Now, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, put yourself in these competitors' shoes for a second. Let's talk about the personal side of this. Let's say you were in this season, a pregame alliance tried to knock you off one by one. So y'all band together. Y'all say, nah, they ain't gonna pick us off one by one. You know, the same seasons in the past where we've seen a team get knocked off one and we go, why are these players so stupid? Why don't they get that there's one side controlling the game? We had another side, a rebellious side, rise above that side, take their lunch money, take their power vacuum, take their infinity stone, Okay. And then we had production show up and just say, yeah, y'all did pretty good, but this wasn't the ending we had in mind. Put yourself in those players' shoes that were thinking about the money they were about to spend. You mean to tell me, as hard as they worked to be in this final, and also keep in mind, Jordan shouldn't even be in the game. Understand, Theo should have won that competition. They created it so Jordan would be here. So if things would have went the way they were supposed to, Theo would have flipped to Team US. He would have been a staunch follower of their side, and they probably have Theo on their side in this final over Zach. Probably. But if ands and buts were candied nuts, I'm not going to get into that. But you see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? One rigging creates another. And at the end of the day, Team USA, it's so easy to have revisionist historian perspective, right? Be results-based and go, they're losing this final, so everything they did up to this point was a failure. I said this in a previous rant, but I'm going to say this again. Paulie and Kara played a masterclass. The only mistake Paulie made was trusting CT. And to be fair, he probably had no choice to trust CT to prove to Josh and Rogan they could trust him. Understand that. So it's not even all the way Paulie's fault necessarily, ladies and gentlemen. But what I want y'all to understand is Ashley knocked out Nani by running all those miles, by doing that Sudoku puzzle. She gets nothing to show for it. Paulie, masterclass. He gets nothing to show for it. Kara, masterclass. All she gets labeled is a quitter, as somebody who can't do a math puzzle and can't hack it under pressure, right? Even though she's won multiple seasons, clearly she can't hack it under pressure. But right now it's convenient to say it, so they will. Cam, someone who was my favorite player of this season because of the glue she was to her alliance and keeping everything together. Leroy, courageous enough to flip on the alliance that was linked to Johnny Bananas after Bananas left, and he actually saw, this is my best route to making the final myself, and he took it. Think about Ninja, close to D. If it wasn't for her relationship with D, maybe Rogan and Josh doesn't work with Paulie. We don't know. But my point is, ladies and gentlemen, all of these players worked well together. They didn't need a pregame alliance to work well together. They did it organically, the way the game is designed to be played. And they are the ones that aren't being rewarded. They are the ones that are being dragged down for playing the game the way it was supposed to be played. You know, Josh is talking about the integrity of the game, but I'm looking at this stage one of the final. I'm going, where's the integrity now? No one cares because money's on the line? I mean, D even said skip Ninja for the money. I mean, geez. Like, if you put yourself in Team USA's shoes, you can truly feel some sympathy for them regardless. Because at the end of the day, no matter how you stretch it out, Jordan and Tori's proposal, their engagement, is the only thing that rigged stage one. It's the only thing that made CT flip back. It's the only thing that created that duos twist, which got Josh sent home and Kaylee. Like, when you really just look at it like that, we lost a lot of players simply because one guy decided to propose on TV. And my problem is, you got money. You could have proposed to her off screen, but you wanted the clout. And that makes me question the sincerity of the proposal itself, because you want to be seen doing it. But if you don't automatically just support it, you're labeled as Kara. Oh, you're a hater. Yeah, you're right. I am a hater because I'm hating the way the game is being played after that situation went down. You know, but at the end of the day, so Kara takes forever during checkpoint two. Checkpoint two is, of course, the part where they have to eat a whole bunch of food and stuff. And what I found very weird, if Paulie has this stroke, why did it seem like he didn't think to drink any water until when he was alone by himself, walking, falling? I mean, this dude looked like Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4 when he was in that microwave thing. If anyone has played Guns of the Patriots, you know what scene I'm talking about, Coach. When Snake is crawling and he getting hit with all of that radiation and his skin is messing up, and he's got to flip that switch to stop the I don't want to get too deep into the story and the lore of it, but at the end of the day, that's what Paulie looked like, Coach. He looked like a character in The Walking Dead, coach. He looked like he was turning. Okay? You mean to tell me y'all had this water this whole time? This brother said he got a heat stroke. Y'all ain't just giving him hella water to drink? Another thing I thought was very bizarre. Team UK, when they had to eat that nasty stuff, they got to drink water to wash it all down pretty fast, didn't they? When Team USA, when it got time for them to eat, it looked like they didn't get to drink the water. It looked like they had to drink whatever water was in the little coconut cup. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that affects your time. Now, I have no way of proving if they ran out of water before that stage or not. Maybe they was giving Paulie a lot of water and maybe they ran out. I'm not sure. Maybe a cameraman had to give him that bag full of water because he's like, hey, we don't want no lawsuit. I don't know. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of red flags in this final. There's a lot. And I can only imagine it's only going to get worse from this point further. It's only going to get worse, man. So Cara, at the end of the day, she takes forever to eat the scorpion / squid thingy. To be honest, this would have been the part of the comp I would have been like, I don't know, coach. But yeah, so at the end of the day, they tried to pin it on Cara. You know, she can't do the math really fast. She can't eat this really fast. Then they tried to pin it on Paulie as well for being a quitter after the fact. Production is doing a fantastic job of making sure every player they didn't invite for 35 has a terrible edit by the time they leave. You notice that? No one gets to go out clean in 34 if they're not a production's pet. I mean, Georgia's friend went out as a quitter. Georgia cried over her. Georgia basically quit when she had to go against Jenny, and she still got a more positive edit than Paulie and Cara getting in the final. It's almost like you're better off not making the final at all if you're just going to lose it, because production is going to clown you if you're not a pet, right? I mean, the stuff I'm saying is just gospel right now, you know? And at the end of the day, that's production's biggest problem heading into this final episode next week. I'm assuming it's the finale next week. You know, why should we care, production? Y'all did nothing to make us think US could win this. Y'all didn't even try to leave the door open to USA somehow pulling out a clutch. Because to our knowledge, Paulie looks like he's 1 foot out the door and he's done. And if this dude really leaves on a Medivac and then you say he can't pass a psych evaluation, that looks even worse now. Cara's not invited, and I have a sneaky suspicion she decided not to come back if you wouldn't let Paulie come back, because she wants to win with him. What's the point if she can't win with him? Plus, let's be real, if there's no Paulie there, Cara's a bigger sitting duck to get bullied by people. You feel me? Like, let's just call it what it is. People love talking crap about Cara when Paulie ain't around. Y'all notice that? But when Paulie is around, they talk it, but, you know, they talk it away from her more often than not. Than to her face, you know? So that's the biggest problem I see with next week, heading into next week's episode. I mean, I don't really have much more else to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, because the episode was basically just one competition. But let's get into answering some questions, ladies and gentlemen. I'm interested in what y'all think, man. Please don't forget to like the video, my brothers and sisters. Shout outs to Father versus Son 1-on-1. What's good, coach? That's a unique name. I definitely heard Tori yell when TJ announced the winner in the next preview. Oh, wow, Casimir. So they're not even trying to hide it, you know? And honestly, in the edit, when you keep showing only Jordan and Tori talk about the house they want to buy, right? But we're getting nothing from Paulie and Cara, them talking about what they plan on buying. All they're talking about is we just want to win it together. In theory, that should be what Jordan and Tori want, to just win it together, because they're a couple that just got engaged. But they got bigger ambitions. How do you have bigger ambitions like that unless you've been assured by production that your ambitions will be fulfilled? Think about that. Where's the humility in their voice? Where is the unsurety? I don't know if that's a word. Let me not say. Where is the doubt in their voice? I don't hear it. Everything seems like a foregone conclusion when they speak. Everything from Team USA seems like a defeatist mentality. And what if they did all those confessionals after Paulie was medevaced? Wouldn't that make a lot more sense why that side looks so, for lack of a better term, their balloon is popped? If you lost your strongest ally right before the final stage of the final, wouldn't you be less optimistic And wouldn't that other team, if they got to do their confessionals after that, wouldn't they be more cocky about it? See, all these things I'm mentioning because they all could be at play here, man. They all could be at play. We just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the problem. There isn't enough transparency in this season right now. You know, the season, look, I only started doing the rants because I saw something unexpected. I said, whoa, people got backbone? Oh, I'm going to cover it then. But they've been penalized for their spine ever since. You know, production wants you to be an invertebrate. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So somebody came and said, hey, wow. Okay. That's lit. My favorite player got knocked out. Who's your favorite player, Gina? I'm not sure. I don't care for D at all. Honestly, I think she's so confusing, man. Because on one hand, you want to feel bad for her, but then she runs back to Rogan. Then she does Ninja bogus. You know, if it wasn't for Ninja, she would have been more mad at Rogan. But Ninja promised her alliance she wouldn't snitch to D about Rogan. You know, it's interesting. In a lot of ways, she should thank Ninja. Because Ninja's the only reason why her head is still in the game right now to go win some money. But once again, I think she's going to get cut in the before they get to the 4v4. And see, that's another problem I got with it, ladies and gentlemen. If your team has done the due diligence to be the team with the most players heading into the final, and then right before you crown the winner, you make them cannibalize each other again and bring down the numbers 4v4, you have 100% not made the smaller team pay at all this entire final. In the first stage, they got an advantage. In the second stage, they only got to lose one person. Meanwhile, that other side, they got to lose almost half their team. How are you going to be in the right state of mind to win a final when you got to cut almost half your team that you made the final with before doing the final stage of the final? See, because I cover sports a lot and I like to cover the psychology behind why an athlete does something, the challenge is right up my alley because these players are athletes. Because you have to be a certain type of athlete to win a season in most cases. And the things that drive these players psychologically are off the Richter scale. Because some players just want to prove themselves. Some believe they have what it takes to win. And some are being assured by the people who are running it they will win. If I go into a club, and if the bouncer promised me whatever girl you holler at, you can take her home. I'm not going to be at that club all night. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to shoot my shot at the right person and get out of that jam. I'm not going to want her all sweaty. I'm not going to want all of this condensation around me. I'm not going to want all these haters watching me with her, right? I'm going to want to eventually get down to the brass tacks and get gone because I got ambition. Because what? I've been told my ambition will be protected in this domain. That's Jordan and Tori. Their ambition has been confirmed. Hey, y'all want to win? Y'all want to propose to each other? All right, we'll set this up. We're going to create a twist called Turncoat. You can go to that team, both of y'all, whenever you want. We're going to talk Team USA into throwing Jordan in against Theo instead of Josh. That way you can have your moment, you know? And everything's going to be all dilly-dally, shilly-shally. And you guys are going to get what you want. Yeah. And then we're going to get CT, one of our production pets this entire time. We're going to make sure he's in every conversation with the leader of the side that opposes you, Jordan. That way, y'all always know what the other side is doing. That way, at a moment's notice, you can clown them for getting close to CT, knowing that both of y'all have always been working for me. All right. So it was a deep fake long con going on this whole time, you know. And it really sucks. It really sucks for USA because I don't really think their team is that weak. But I think when you make the competition so... See what they could have did with that comp. They could have timed each person and just made them run. And then been like, all right, the average time of all of you versus the average time of all of you. There we go. Y'all know what the problem is with that? I'll tell you what the problem is. Production knew CT couldn't compete. They knew he couldn't outrun nobody. And if you look at the women on Team US, all of those women can run. At this point, all those women can run, right? Look at the men on Team US. All of those men can outrun CT. So if we're doing averages, CT doing bad has more of a negative impact on less numbers. You see what I'm doing here? I'm showing you how division works. Meaning, by them making this a weight-bearing competition, they took away CT's biggest weakness and they handed him his biggest strength. And they almost made it a negative to have women on your team. 1 week removed from allowing a man to identify as a woman. Is that why they're making the 20 pounds count for each woman as if they're men? Are they forcing them to have a sex change for this stage 1 of the final? See, I have to ask these questions because it does not make any sense. None of this makes any sense. You know, people say, hey, Dave, you got to take off your tinfoil hat sometimes, man. What have I said during this episode that ain't true, though? All of this looks suspicious. You mean to tell me Jordan with one hand, only a 40 pounds difference, and he like, man, this ain't nothing. Paulie, you add 40 pounds, and this dude look like Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4, coach. Come on, man. Y'all thought I was born yesterday. Come on, man. They did more in this episode to bury Paulie's strength as a competitor than anything else. You know? They did more in this episode to justify why they didn't bring Kara back than anything else. They did more in this episode to make Leroy look like an idiot for choosing the side he chose than anything else. You know? And really, they did nothing to make anyone on UK look bad. Really, if you really break it down, the only person that looked bad a little bit was D, because Rogan made up for it when it came to the eating phase. So the only person they threw under the bus was D. So who do you think is going to leave next week for UK? Come on, man. This is so easy to predict, man. Come on, man. And that's why it's so shameful. This shouldn't be that easy to predict, man. But you're going to have all these other channels covering this episode, and they're going to act like this is the best thing since sliced bread because they're probably being paid off to believe the genjutsu in front of their face. Look, I'm releasing it. Kai, you feel it, dig me, coach? I'm not falling for it. You feel me? And that's a Naruto reference for the people that sleep right now. They have definitely made the results very obvious. I am looking forward to next season, though. Yeah, me too, Jay Griff. Me too. And see, that's the thing, man. It's so hard to duck these spoilers, though. You know, I mean, and I'm in no way asking y'all to put some spoilers in the comment section. Please redact any of those messages anyone puts in that sounds like a spoiler coming up. But at the end of the day, I mean, you got people on Twitter already saying, yeah, I told you about my BB20 fam. It's like, chill out, bro. Like, chill out. You talking too much. You letting people know people back home. That's not a good thing. You should not want us to know nothing. Then when the season comes up and your people shine, then you talk. Because then y'all all will be in on it together. Like, and this is how you know certain people are thirsty to show people they still cool with them. Wink, wink. Because they going out of their way to spoil stuff just to show I'm still cool with them. Like, chill out, bro. Like, you ain't on the season. So what you talking for? You know what I'm saying? Like, chill. Like last time I checked, like, nah, I ain't gonna get into that BB toy stuff. Let me stop. I was finna go off, man. I was finna go off. Let me stop. We done with that. We done with that show. Let it die. Leroy and Cam, I was rooting for them all season. Yep, me too. Casimir says, my baby Kaylee, I miss her. Honestly, like, it's highway robbery that Josh didn't make this final, but CT did. Like when you really just look at it, it's highway robbery. It's highway robbery. For them to make a duos twist and then go, hey, CT, you could swim by yourself, though. You know, they don't make him swim twice, right? And then combine those times versus the times of another couple. They say, no. You just swim once, coach. As long as you ain't one of the weakest. You good. You know? I mean, it's like, dog, really? Like, what has CT done this season to not have to swim with a partner. And I get it. Rogan was the one that's trying to swim by himself and he wouldn't allow him to. But at the end of the day, Rogan should have been like, nah, bruh, if it wasn't for me, your little flip-floppy self would have been gone. We could have chose Idris over you. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it all the way of being. Production would have never allowed Idris to stay over CT. You feel me? They wanted that Ted Bundy scene. Let's just call it what it was. You know? I'm just keeping it a bean. But see, the more I speak to the chat room, the more I know I'm on point with this, you know? And I know there's people that is watching this rant that haven't seen the episode. And that's why you're going to really get a treat. Because you're going to watch that episode for the first time with this information. And you're going to be looking at it like, yo, what is going on? Yeah, this don't look right. How is Paulie breaking down like this over 40 pounds? It's just not possible. It really isn't possible, you know? And that's just really the toughest part to swallow about all of this, pause. But that's the toughest part, knowing that they did everything they could to make Paulie look weak. Yes, lady, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? People be extra hey guys, I guess who I'm cool with? The guy all of you are watching next season for. Don't forget about me. Like, thirsty, bro. Like, play your role, bro. Like chill out. Like, he acted like he was not a recruit. What they called him people that come into the season later on. Not a contractor. They give them a mercenary. He acted like he was a mercenary and saw it all firsthand. Chill, bro. Just chill. You know? Like chill. I will say though that the challenge has been more consistent quality-wise than most reality that's without a doubt. Y'all don't hear me saying I'm boycotting it. Y'all don't hear that out of my mouth. Because no matter how bad this season may be, this is nowhere near as heavily rigged as Big Brother. At least you can still beat the other side if you can somehow overcome some handicaps. Big Brother, they spend months working on comps that are unbeatable for certain players. You know what I'm saying? Like listen. like they go out of their way to say, oh no, this isn't a legit game show. This is a reality TV. That way they can script it. You know, they do little things like that on purpose to cover their butts, right? But once again, this ain't about that trash. That swim episode was messed up. I mean, trust me. Oh dang, my phone was like, yeah, it is messed up. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. After you watch this episode tonight, it's gonna be just as messed up. It's gonna be just as messed up. You know. I mean, and some of the math that Pooh couldn't do in this episode had me shocked. I'm like, you don't know what 7 times 7 minus 7 is? Like, what is going on? Like, people's like, what, is it 50? I'm like, is Nicole in this final? Man, come on, man. I had to clown her real quick. I had to clown her, coach. I'm watching when this is over. Shout outs to you, Miss Gina. Fans were so upset that CT left early last season that production fixed it so he would go further. I agree with you 100% on that, Ironhide. That is a great point. Because when CT got out last season, it was against JP and Kyle, right? Wasn't that the people who knocked him out last season? And he was so mad that he was chosen, right? Like he had an entitlement about him, right? It's like, why would you choose me? All these people here, why would you choose me? You know, and I almost kind of likened it similarly to how once upon a time Corey Wharton chose Darrell, and he got Darrell sent to that other house that they were doing for a while. I'm glad they took that out the game. Like when people are gone, let them be gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad they took that out. And if it wasn't for Kyle and Paulie that season, that house, that redemption house would have probably been boring as well. And that's how we got Cam and Kaylee got close together in that house too. So all of these things, you know, even though I don't really like it anymore, I will say that it did character build for players. But if you're not going to bring those players back just because they played well when you didn't want them to, I mean, that truly blows up all of the storyline that you're building for all these new players. And it explains why you try to find other new players to replace them season on, because you're trying to escape from the players who understand how your pets play. And you want there to constantly be noobs. That way your pets can constantly gather numbers to throw in those new players first. And what does that do? that constantly and consistently pushes your pets deeper into every season. And that's why Johnny Bananas can win so many seasons. That's why Jordan can win so many seasons. That's why Wes can win so many seasons, because y'all create each season to be its own theme with new players. Everyone has the authority to gang up on because production, they want that. You know, like production don't want no new player coming into the show and dominating. And even Turbo, you can tell they regret him dominating. They thought, man, we getting views from Turkey. We getting people globally around the world watching our show that maybe didn't do it before. We're getting more Survivor fans by the day. You know, they're looking at it from a monetary gain perspective. And here we go. And we see them completely flip on a dime in a moment's notice just because Jordan is connected at the hip with Tori, right? You know? And they saw the proposal coming, and that's why Turbo had to go, because he couldn't have been there. No. Turbo would have spoiled the party, which I already broke down in the previous rant. Okay. Let me see if y'all got some more. Just found out Leroy isn't verified. Yeah, that is really weird. Leroy's a vet. He should be verified. They need to bring Nia back. She will put Jordan and Tori in their place. They won't bring Nia back. I don't think they would ever bring her back, mainly because the easiest way for production to get the fans to forget about a racist moment is to blame the victim of the racist moment. I hate to put it that way, but it's true. Look at all the previous seasons of BB, of Survivor for that matter. And Survivor, to be fair, they have a lot less of these problems because it's more of a show that they edit from the last episode to the first. So they're able to cut out some of these scenes and not even show them if they do happen. Big Brother, on the other hand, we see it live on a lot of occasions, and it's hard for them to hide it. So when they do hide it, we can call them out on it because we saw it live. But understand, ladies and gentlemen, that's how production gets away with it. They basically blame the victim. They don't invite the victim back. And from a strategic standpoint, they're doing the same thing with 35. All of the people who are essentially a victim of the pregame alliance and revolted, they're not being brought back. You know? And while it would be easy for people to say, oh, they're not being brought back because people are tired of looking at Cara. They're tired of looking at Paulie. Oh, you're tired of a guy who played the same game as a lot of the players you look up to, but because he played it against them, he's so crazy with it. You know, at the end of the day, if my favorite basketball player is Michael Jordan, I can't say Kobe Bryant is trash because he's playing like him. If your favorite player is Bananas and you hating on Paulie, then why are you a fan of Bananas? All he did was do what Bananas has been doing for years, but he did it and you didn't expect it to come from him because he's still somewhat of a newer player. And you're using that almost to throw demerits his way simply because he exceeded your expectations. That should be more of a reason to rejoice what he did because it's something fresh and new. But what do? Y'all don't bring him back and say he's crazy. He must be crazy to play this well against our pets. Like, what? That's what we on now, coach. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to hold y'all any further, man. I gave y'all an hour of my time. When y'all have the time, please check out this episode. This has been the 11th rant entitled Gurney Gate. And I am your humble host, Dave Smith. And this is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe. And on the right side of my channel's page, click on that bell. That way you could be here with the most lit live chat in the challenge history, bar none. I truly appreciate y'all coming through when y'all did tonight. For all the people that may be showing up late, just watch it on demand. Trust me, you're going to enjoy yourself. And for the people who haven't seen the episode yet, please come back to watch this after you watch that episode. Because everything I say going to hit a little bit harder after that. But please comment below. Do you think my conspiracy theory behind Gurney Gate is warranted? I think 100% something is very suspicious. By them not showing us each and every sandbag individually and counting them up and making it very transparent for us and showing the extra weight on each side to make us a little bit more content with the handicap that they provided in this stage one final. I'm sorry. It's too sneaky for me. And when you add the context of my previous rants and how I have gone out of my way to tell you all how they're working so hard for Jordan and Tori to have their moment at the end of this, and then for them to shorten the numbers to 4 only after they rig stage 1, ladies and gentlemen, we have more than enough proof now to know that they wanted UK to be off to such a good start that by the time it was time to cut an extra person for them before the final stage of the final, They were ahead so much it wouldn't make a difference. So even if they were to lose a CT or a Rogan, they're ahead at least by 10 minutes because the 10 minutes didn't make up any time. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, this all but secures who wins next week. But it all comes down now to how production tries to cover it up. And the Recency Bias Radio investigation team is going to be on the case. So y'all enjoy y'all night. I'm out of here. Deuces. You villain, we go.